Hi everyone. So I don't know what it is about today, but I think I've just lost my cool with the ANC. So it, all of their efforts just seem to be that nobody must show them up. So as long as we are constantly reducing ourselves to their level of incompetency, we can maintain the peace. And I open up X today and I see, the SABC is back onto some or other tangent about getting attacks from podcasters. So that's very interesting. I'm starting to wonder if the ANC and the EFF, Action SA maybe, but definitely the ANC, are in a mindset of not showing them up. So and by we, I mean the rest of the population, the group who want to see South Africa be a success and succeed in the beautiful diversity that we have, we want to move and build and digitize, bring in AI, new systems, let's use drones. And the ANC and all of these struggle song parties continue to criticize everything everybody else is doing. And all of us are just moving on and getting it done and bearing the incessant corrupt weight of the ANC. So that their mindset is don't show us up. They celebrate mediocrity on X all the time. Like they opened a tap. Yay! They built this tiny little bridge. Yay! Pit toilets. Yay! I mean, it only took you 30 years. Stop celebrating mediocrity. Also, Lefusi, I get his name wrong anyway, regardless. He launches the completion of a housing complex. There is just soil and gravel and there's not a tree, there's not a pavement, there's nothing. It is these bland little white houses of depression.
Mega city. It is a complex being built by the provincial government. And Yaza Lesufi likes to brag about these mega cities.
And then somebody forgets to hand them over and they get vandalized. I mean, talk about incompetency. It's the incompetency that I'm getting all riled up about today. You just cannot be this incompetent. And then continue to have the expectation that we will fund your incompetency. SABC's collection rate on licenses is dismal. And it's been like that forever. So between the SABC, the sports minister with Liam Jacobs, Enoch and his bastardized budget, and then we have Julius and the EFF wanting to march off to Urania, private property within all the laws of South Africa, and then the private security. So private security showing our police force up, and the ANC don't like that. No, 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 no. Because articles always finish off by saying, thanks for the private security who waited for the SAPs to collect the criminal. That's what they do. They're a collection agency for criminals. It's ridiculous. But we are continuing to force South Africa to pay extra money. And then Neil de Beer brings it to my attention yesterday, no, not yesterday, Sunday, that the SARS, the Revenue Service, brought in more than they expected, which was more than double of what the VAT increase would have given the ANC. And they still wanted to force it through, and then fighting like kids about who can take the glory. Meanwhile, we're all just struggling to survive. I want to take you through some of the stuff that's happening, just to really summarize the absolute incompetence. It is pure, blatant incompetence. And you sit there and can't explain how you're wasting our money. So the SABC, the very company who wants to sue Google, I think it's Google and Meta. They want to sue Google and Meta because they're taking all the viewers. Then this morning I hear, no, they want to do podcasting tax. So how on earth do you think that you can continually ask me for money when your house is literally falling apart? And I'm going to take you through this article quickly. Your house is falling apart. Your wasteful, irregular, and unauthorized expenditure is through the roof. SABC is basically insolvent. It's shocking. So now, 22nd of January, so not that long ago, technically insolvent state-owned enterprise, collapsing in front of everyone's eyes. This is on Business Tech. I haven't read through it. I thought we could do it together. Situation has reached, oopsie, oh, let's try not to do that. So, situation has reached concerning levels that it cannot invest in technology and its buildings and other infrastructure is collapsing. Wow. Do not ask us for a podcasting tax. Oh, good. So your 24 annual report is a 200 million recorded loss compared to last year. Been at an operating loss for many years, revenue decline because of your collections. They generated, why does my mouse do this? Okay, never mind. So they generated 6.5 billion in revenue. Oh, and by the way, you must see how much of this comes from other government institutions. The amount of money spent on advertising from government institutions, recruitment campaigns, UIF awareness, social grant awareness, millions. So, TV license fees, no. Oh, evasion rates increased to 86%. We refuse to pay this fee. SABC is the new e-tolls. Yeah, tired of funding corruption and mismanaged state enterprises. And you know what? We have to put up with water boards. We have to put up with Eskom. You know what we don't have to put up with is the SABC. So, finances have reached such a critical level that the new communications minister is looking at a new funding model for the company. Public interest content levies. That's the smartphone levies. Word, I forgot about that one. So that's three ways they want to strangle us of our fees. Contentious strategy. Yes. Look at this building. So you have a brand manager on an aeroplane who acts like an absolute hooligan and then thinks it's okay to go on, what's it, Face the Nation and try and force her story across. Absolutely no accountability. I mean, what do we expect? You have that going. You want to charge us extra fees across 3 different categories. And this is how your building looks. No, sweetie. And you also just paid millions for a rebranding strategy. Have any of those PR agencies thought of getting you some new signage? I did rebranding in my previous role for massive retail organizations, and the first thing we always like to do is upgrade our signage. If you need a contact, please call me. I know they'll be more reputable than the crazy little suppliers you guys use for all your other stuff. Yup. Anyway, continued losses has taken its toll. You don't say. Like, have any of you ever looked at the income balance sheet? Assets of 4 billion, liabilities of, so yeah, negative equity of 37 million. Cool. Materially uncertain. So will it meet its obligations in the next 12 months? None of us know. Well, the government could continue funding them because they're currently rolling a lot of money into any of the SABC state-owned media channels, including Media 24. No funding is currently available for any capital investment in innovation, infrastructure, and technology. You'll never catch up. The digital world is moving so fast. I mean, I struggle to keep up. How is this kippy kippy gonna keep up? So, poor financial state can be seen in numerous reports about its building and technology. Neglect can be seen everywhere. Results that some workers in the dilapidated Auckland Park are fed up after years of decline. But you hired a PR agency for millions in COVID in 2020. I mean, what is your thinking here? I mean, how is this even logically logical? Like, there is no logic. The incompetence is in the negative. Like, we're in the red for competency. I am gutful. I am honestly gutful. Yeah, the two lifts don't work since 2018. Okay. One of the lifts work, and those lifts, by the way, only go to the top floors where the senior managers work. Seriously. Outdated toilet facilities, dirty, stairs are poorly lit, but that's the only way you can get up because the lifts are all broken. Oh, a fire in 2023? I did not know about that. 2019. Oh, it had to be evacuated after a diesel leak. From a generator backup tank on the 15th floor. Is that legal? From a health and safety health and safety compliance? This is what they say in their report. It's shocking. It's one of their missions and visions. I can't. I just can't. They are cooked, man. Absolutely cooked. Not much money was spent on maintenance. Oh, you must see the amount of money they spend on maintenance in their audit reports across all state-owned enterprises. I mean, this building, you know what, ANC, if you want to get rid of the legacy of apartheid, build a new building because that screams apartheid building. So you're still living in the white man's building. You can't even build your own state-owned building. I mean, the ridiculousness is ridiculous. It's beyond, beyond. I mean, this level of incompetence should have gone to space with Katy Perry. Hey? I, and then not have come back down. What the living poopity loop 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 is that? Ne? What? And no wonder our government officials act the way they do when we come and ask for help, because not even their managers, their employees, their employers do not care for them. They're expected to work in these buildings. And then senior managers Holy moly, look at that road. Oh, sorry, it's the first time I'm seeing this. This is cray cray. No, man, come on, guys. You, sh you are, this is shocking. And then you're traveling all over the world and doing all the things, man, doing all the things. When the downfall of the ANC come, you will have nothing, nothing, because nobody will want to touch you. Because this is the evidence of your competency. Here you go. I am the ANC, and this is what I'm capable of achieving in the 30 years of power. I mean, it just can't be allowed. I mean, that truck looks like it comes from bloody apartheid, guys. Come on. It's disgusting. I mean, then, bless his heart, if I had any money, I would give Liam my money. Yes. If there is any one man who's going to increase the voter base for the DA, it's going to be this man, Liam for president. Liam for president. That's it. Liam, you need to run for presidency. This incompetency, no senior manager will ever be allowed to act like this in a board meeting. I think it's once a month or once a quarter, all the board members go into, I'm talking private enterprises now, go into these massive boardrooms. They're wearing their suits, their ties, dressed to the nines as if they're going to the bloody Oscars. And they have to sit there and account for every single unreasonable expense. And why have you only achieved 16%? And why is your turnover this? And why is that project delayed? And what is the cost expansion on that? And then we have this level of incompetence. Let's spend 53 seconds and see how incompetent our government is, because I laughed. I was near. This and near.
68 rand. 47,568 rand on consulting fees. What was that for? It's just there, a line item, consulting fees. Now the homework is being done, Chairperson. This is what happens when you study inside of the lecture. Proceed. Nagana.
Now we understand the challenges that NSA have.
That's why there's a problem. And I'm going to finish it with my last point. Proceed. I want an answer.
Honorable members, Honorable Chair, I don't think this is fair.
Bless Liam. I don't think this is fair. Excuse me. You have billions of rands given to you every year with targets, expectations. You have a whole country relying on you. And you actually think it's okay to sit there and say the words, I don't think this is fair. Like, it's so funny. I want to cry. Like, literally, it's so ridiculous and absolutely unfathomable. Unfathomable. You should absolutely be hanging your head in shame. I mean, absolutely not a single private enterprise would ever expect this. You better start putting some savings aside, ANC, because when you fall and you don't have a job, no one is going to hire you. because I wasn't even in senior management. And I had to stand before executives and please and explain 100,000 Rand for a company that's turnover is in the billions. 100,000 Rand. You can't even sit on stage with the salary you earn and please and explain one contract. I mean, it's implorable. It's implorable. It's a crime. Let me continue. I mean, I'm just Enoch's budget. This oak can't even rally a group of people together and organize a budget, even though SARS tells you that it's received more than it anticipated. I mean, who the hell do you think you are? Hey? Who the hell do you think you are to even expect that kind of stuff from us? And then to just continue wasting. Cyril, you promised all the lifestyle audits for Parliament and executive members to be done by the end of 2024. And here we wait. But we're going to wait for that for as long as we've been waiting for you to deal with the legacy of apartheid, while you force your staff to sit in apartheid buildings and drive apartheid cars. I mean, you've got to be insane. This is just not like. Here's another thing that's really blown my mind over the weekend. If these people, and I mean people who continuously fight anyone trying to make progress, honestly. So if the EFF and similar parties spent as much effort, I mean, this is an entire 2 weeks of organizing the money, the T-shirts, the signs, the collaboration, a lot of effort goes into this. Transport, I mean, are they getting free lunch, etc., etc.? So my question is, what could you have achieved putting as much effort into improving yourself using the same amount of effort or a cost, money? So how much could you improve yourself with the same amount of money you've spent, instead of focusing on what everybody else is doing? What is this continual exterior finger-pointing attitude? And my second question is, how far has it gotten you? How far have you come with that attitude? Because from where I'm sitting, you're moving backwards. You're moving backwards. So for anybody trying to make progress in this country, regardless of the unfathomable, completely unrealistic expectations that our government puts on us, we have people in this country who are continually wanting to limit those who want to move forward and make progress. They want to point their little finger at us and say, you can't do better than me. I mean, I'm going to spend all my time looking at you and pointing fingers. And that's all I'm capable of. And you're not allowed to do better than me. You may not show me up, but my effort is naught. My effort is -10, but you're not allowed to show me up. I mean, essentially you're saying, nope, you must come down to my level. We will never, ever, 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 ever get anywhere if this is the attitude of people. But I continually go back to the problem of, what could you have achieved if you'd put the same amount of effort in, but for development? Imagine all of you had gone to an impoverished school and put some seeds in the ground. Just an idea. And you know what? It probably would have cost you less. And you know what? You probably could have got an organization to donate compost equipment, seeds. But no, you want to point a finger at a community that's law-abiding. It's doing everything within the law. It takes up absolutely no resources from the government. Why would you spend an entire day doing that?
You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
When you could go to an impoverished school, you could go to an old age home, you could build that school that you've been promising. But you didn't. And I really want to know why. I want to know why. I mean, it blows my mind. I can't even begin to make sense of this. Let's watch this video from Freedom Front. Honestly, I chose this one because I don't want to give SABC News my click. I don't want to give Newsroom Africa my click. I don't want to give those channels my view because that means I'm giving them my money. So I chose a random channel. So let's watch this video and then I've got some more questions.
A decision. The Freedom Front Plus say they will welcome any investigation into Orania, as it will prove the Volksstaat operates without public funding. A community is not something that you dissolve or that you stop being by a decree or something. You can do that with an organization. You can outlaw an organization, but a community is just there. And it's not really possible to dissolve it by legislation or by decree or whatever. So we could traverse a road of confrontation, or we could see how we complement each other in a post-apartheid South Africa. I could also say a post-colonial Africa.
Again, look at the mindset. Let's work together. Would you like to build a community would you like to have the community of EFF? Would you like to have a community of Xhosas? Would you like to have a community where, I don't know, would you like to have the same? Are you jealous? Are you jealous of it? Would you like to have the same? Because you need to shift your mindset. You are more than welcome to ask. The transfer of skills is there. I can guarantee you there are so many people who would be more than happy to transfer skills. The mindset of destruction, destroy it. It doesn't suit our narrative. Destroy it. It doesn't suit our narrative. Instead of saying, okay, you have this here. These are the reasons I'm upset. What can we do to alleviate the tension? Could you come and help me in my community once a month and do some repairs on a school in order to support the maintenance and development of a community outside of your community? What's wrong with that? No. Destroy it. Take it down. No. I mean, what are you aiming to achieve? Because the only outcome of that is downhill. The only outcome is negative growth, more people leaving the country, less income. So the guaranteed outcome is down. There's no positivity that's going to come of this. There will be no growth and development and breaking down the legacy of apartheid. Breaking down the legacy of apartheid is asking this community to support your community on the outskirts of town with maintenance on the building. And maybe while they're doing that, the other fathers from that community can come through and have a transfer of skills for the day. Why can't we do that? But you want to destroy. You want to live in Bree Street. Jy wil in daai gemors wees. Because then there's no expectations. And then you really can just do whatever, who cares? It's all cuck anyway. I mean, half of you are unemployed and you still couldn't bother grabbing a black bag and just picking up some of the rubbish on the street. It's You're just sitting there anyway. At least pick up the rubbish. But you see, nobody will just stand up and go, oh, it's in my hands. I'm capable of change. Nya, nya, nya. Ek wil net so sit. Another thing that I'm really upset about is the security industry. So now the security industry, because anyone who's not in government is like a gazillion times more capable than any government official. I mean, you guys are toxic. Toxic. This is our police force. It's 1 to 417 per 100,000. The standard for the United Nations is 1 to 220. And then the density of police stations has flattened to just over 1,100 in 12 years. So let's say, because now it's the last 30 years, so every 2 years, we managed to build one police station. So now we have a police force that's basically halved in size. Our population and our illegal immigrant crisis has just gone through the roof. I mean, police down, everything else up. And then our government, because in all their glory and toxicity, decide, you know what would be a good idea? To legislate them because they're showing us up. That would be terrible if we looked more inefficient than the private industry. I mean, you're limiting the amount of great employees the private industry can hire. And what do you think the outcome's going to be? Stagnated growth. Just like your mindset. Stagnated, boring, toxic, corrupt. I could go on. So yeah, this is one of my favorite images just because I'm like, is this a fantasy? Is this a nightmare? Am I delusional? Have my pills started kicking in? Because it's just unfathomable. I came across a post on X a week ago, and it's referring back to sanctions and that the Stripe system, which is, I think it's Stripe, the system that allows for international payments. So with sanctions comes the inability to use Visa, MasterCard, because even the slightest tap of a MasterCard, even if it's all local, still hits a US server at some point, even if it's a millisecond. So you won't have that as payment systems. And that was the argument of the X post. Some guy, I mean, I was horrified. Some guy says, oh no, China's tested out their new payment system and we can switch it on like immediately. I'm like, immediately? Are you sure about that? Would you not maybe like to go and do some research? Because like you can't just switch something on immediately. Have you seen the chaos and the cost to the companies on just a 0.5% VAT increase change? The amount of transactions going through in South Africa every single minute is unimaginable. And now what? You want to switch it on overnight? A whole new system in every single clicks, Pick and Pay, Game, Checkers, all of them. The banks. Have you thought this through? See, now it's people like that who make decisions for the country. Honestly, we cannot be surprised that we are where we are if people who think the entire South Africa, all the private institutions, all the banks, all the governments can just download app. You can't, like, it's just no. It's a clear indication that our education system is a complete and utter failure. This is ignorance combined with a lack of effort and willpower. That's what this is. You are ignorant to go and educate yourself on a systems view, not a little I is EFF and I need a piece of land to grow my crop. No, systems, guys, systems. Because if all you do is grow a crop for your neighbors, that's your income's only going to get there for the rest of your life. Expansion, think better, improvement, self-awareness. But you're choosing to be ignorant because you have a destructive mindset. I can't imagine Urania would say no to helping out a local community with transfer of skills. I can't imagine they would not want to do that. But you don't want to uplift your community. You want them wasting their time running around. Oh, no, we must destroy this community that does nothing and it costs us nothing. And really, nope. Destroy, destroy, destroy. The ANC and the rest of the parties who are constantly wanting to destroy and legislate and implement policies. You are living in your own trauma. You have this little trauma mindset, and you're like, oh, if I step out of my trauma, who am I? Your identity, your entire who you are as a party, who you are as people, is based on apartheid. So if that is taken away from you, you have nothing. And you fear that. That's your fear. And that's why you have a destructive mindset. Because as long as there is chaos and infighting and fighting, you have a reason to exist. You have a purpose. But as soon as there is working together and progress and transferring of knowledge and skills, then your identity isn't there anymore because now you're reliant on somebody else. But that's how progress and democracy works. We're all reliant on each other. I need the government needs me. So let's work together to achieve success. But you want to live in your trauma because that's all you know. I saw another Twitter post the other day. I mean, it's laughable, guys. My comment literally in that post was, can somebody please throw me off the nearest cliff? Because honestly, I can't anymore. I can't. My mind is blown with incompetency. Massive. And the fact is, now your trauma identity has been passed down to the youth. The very youth we all had hopes on that would bring that final South Africa together. The Rugby World Cup South Africa. But somebody who was born in, I think it was not 2003, I think it was, goes for an interview. And the guy's interviewing him and he says, you know, what's, I can't remember, what's held you back from getting into this position? The young gent's answer was, no, I've been repressed because of apartheid. He was born in the early 2000s. He's being interviewed and his answer to a question is, no, it's the repression of apartheid. No, it is the narrative of apartheid. It is your choice to live in a state of victimhood and trauma. And you should be blaming your parents because they're the ones who have given this to you. The Gogo sits in her tent with her grandchild, moaning about the repression, the apartheid, the repression. And this little kid grows up hearing about the repression of apartheid and how it's limited their potential. So no wonder the mindset is of destruction and chaos and not self-development, because Gogo isn't taking her son out and walking around. I don't know what Gogo's not doing actually, so whatever. But this is the problem we face: a state of trauma and victimhood, and a mindset of destruction and not self-improvement or development or collaboration. But the level of incompetency needs to stop. It just blows, I can't, it blows my mind. I mean, the level of incompetency needs to be illegal. So before I end off, thanks guys. If you enjoyed this video or any of my past videos, I would love for you to like, subscribe, and share. Really helps me get my channel out there fighting the algorithm. And then also feel free to follow me on Coffee. I have a Coffee channel where I can get once-off donations and support in kind of achieving my business goals. So feel free to support me on Coffee. The link is in the bio, in my bio. The link's also in the description. And make sure to drop me a super thanks if you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a productive and successful week. Let's see if something good can come of all the chaos that is happening at the moment. I'm sure there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Us South Africans are resourceful and resilient, if anything. So yeah, thanks for joining me. Appreciate it. Over and out.